What's going on, everybody? Yourassismine here to tell you I finally found what started it all. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and the subject came up with some old retro games we used to play on the Nintendo and the Sega Genesis and everything like this, and we got to talking about a certain game, and I remembered where it all started for me. And when I say where it all started, I don't mean where my fun in gaming started. I mean where the rage actually started. Where my hatred for dying and stupid shit in a video game actually started was back in the Nintendo Entertainment System. Back in about 1988, 89, somewhere in that area. I was about 8, 9 years old, so I had a game called Ikari Warriors. And some of you might remember this game. It was a over-the-top shooter game. Kind of like Rambo, man. The dude was basically Rambo. You ran around, you just killed everybody, and you kept progressing through the level. And you could get in tanks and everything, and it was like the worst thing in the world if you got in a tank and the tank blew up. It was like the weirdest button combination ever to get out of the tank. And it used to always kill you. And this game was so hard. Now, this was before I had the Game Genie and could cheat. Now, the Game Genie, wow, boy. Once you use that thing, your Nintendo wouldn't work without it, it seemed like. Because it held, you didn't have to use the clothespin with the Game Genie. And you know, after you did that, then it was all over but the crying. Anyways, so, before I had the Game Genie. So, me and this kid down the street, good friend of mine, we decided we were going to team up and we were going to beat this damn game. So, 2-player option, let's roll, you know. So we get on there and we're beating it. We're kicking its ass. We're doing a good job. We get down to, we're almost to the last level, and you know, we're struggling. There's turrets everywhere. There's troops coming all over the place. Tanks. You know, we're getting blown up in tanks. He's getting killed. When, you know, we're running out of lives, this, that, and the other. It's getting crazy. And finally we made it all through. Like, the wait was over, and there was a clearing. And there was nothing going on. It's like, what? So we come into this room. And there's a guy sitting behind a desk. Now, I don't know if this is the last guy of the game because of what I'm fixing to tell you. So we run into this room. I immediately throw a grenade. Perfect landing on the desk, on the guy's head. The game froze. I, at the age of 9 or 10, broke my first Nintendo controller. And with that break of the Nintendo controller, that started it all. That started my hatred for stupid shit in games. Because we grinded on that game for what seemed to be 4 hours. Because a game like that, there were no save points. There was no code to put in. It was you get this in one shot and that is it. That's all you're getting. And when it glitched at the very end, I swear to you, I could have cried like a little girl. But instead, I broke my Nintendo controller. And I remember my dad being so mad at me. He just wanted to strangle me. He's like, boy, you know how much that goddamn thing costs. You know how parents are. And it was funny. You know, we were thinking back at some of the great games that used to be out and how games used to be so much fun to play. And he's real big into retro gaming. And I actually need to go over to his house and play some of these old retro games. And remember the good times that were. But how much fun it was. And then I said, you know, I remember the first time I ever raged at a video game, and that's when it came up. And I actually broke a Nintendo controller, and you know how that works. But man, hey, look at this gun. I got this cool gun in a supply drop, MP11 Toxic, I think. Looks kind of cool. I like the paint job on it, but it's increased fire rate, increased mobility, and it's actually a pretty good gun. You know, aside from it being a hit marker machine because it's an SMG in this game, but it's actually a decent gun, and I recommend if you guys actually get a good MP11, you can do some damage with it. I've run a couple of different games with it, and I've actually done pretty good. So people complain about the SMGs. I feel you, but up close like they're supposed to be, yeah, they're not too bad. And I'm going to actually have a little commentary coming up soon where I'm talking about the ever-popular SMGs. So thanks for watching, guys.